Alright, another one of these general videos on the subject of how do we do this arguing thing, this communicating thing, these videos, how do we organize this shit, the conversation, make sense of it. So, I don't know, I'm going to label this video some kind of like video 1 or something. Start here. Yeah, I'll label it that, start here. And, I don't know, I haven't really thought about it, but it'd be some sort of thing like, yeah, you either agree with everything that is the premise of this video or you don't. You either vote yes or you vote no. And you're either part of the conversation or you're not. So if you don't accept the premises, there's no conversation. There's nowhere else to go. There's nothing else to argue. Sort of, accept the premises. So let's argue the premises then if they need to be argued. But let's figure out what we're arguing. There's no point in arguing way down there, down the path, when we're going to end up back here at the beginning again, because that's where the real flaw is in the starting premise. So anyway, I'd say like the first fact of communication with other people about the truth is accepting the premise that this is reality. That it's not a matrix, it's not a delusion, it's not a phantom, it's not a projection. There isn't some race of loonies sitting around, inventing a little orb that they look into and watch fucktarded humans have fucktarded hard lives. There is no such bullshit. There's just material reality caught up in ebbs and flows of its dynamic. This stream flowing isn't any different than a volcano erupting on Titan or some other kind of bullshit. It's all just matter doing the mattery thing, and that's the world we live in. And it's controlled by these crude natural forces, dynamics, and that's it. They're rules. They're rules that everything has to sort of follow, and that's it. That's it. And that's where we start. We start with matter, atoms, and energy, whatever you want. Yeah, energy. We start with energy, and it coalesces, it condensates into these bizarre forms of physical material. Mostly, okay, let's talk about rocks and shit to start with, and then we'll get to the living crap. But that's number one fact. All right, so that's the premise. We're having a conversation about reality, not, henny penny matrix fantasies and other kinds of bullshit. You want to talk about that? You want to pretend the universe works that way? Fine. I'm not going to have that conversation. It's not part of my perception of a realistic, phantasmagorical thought. That's all that is. That's daydreaming, wishful thinking. That's like imagining a woman with 15 breasts. You're just playing with yourself. That has nothing to do with the reality we're stuck in. This idea that there's some master plan, and we're just pawns. No, ain't happening, jackass. Sorry, no offense, but that's premise number 1. All right, premise number 2. Yeah, it is material, and matter behaves to certain rules. And what happened to create the human race? Well, first thing that happened was a piece of matter acquired the ability to reproduce itself in a reproductive form. I mean, it made a copy of itself that could reproduce itself. And it had as a component of itself a DNA molecule that acted as a functional necessity to recording or dictating the shape and form of the reproducing piece of matter, if that's enough of a qualification for the fact. Basically, the fact number 2 is that we evolved from a single cell some billions of years ago that acquired the ability to reproduce. I don't know if you need to go further qualification to say they acquired it through a natural phenomenon, a very unlikely natural phenomenon. I don't care. If you want to think it happened because an alien made it happen, I don't know if that matters, but it'll probably come up later and be important. So I guess that sort of violates the first premise that you can't just make up something. So yeah, you have to believe, to agree with fact number 2, you have to believe in abiogenesis, that chemistry mixing around on planet Earth some billions of years ago happened upon a structure that reproduced itself, and we are descendant from that structure. There, that's fact number 2. All right, so we'll go for fact number 3. One video, we'll do 3 facts. Wow, maybe 4. We'll see how it goes. if I can think of the right order. So fact number 3 should be, all right, evolution only cares about success in the strictest, narrowest definition. The forces of evolution just say you exist in a world, in an environment, and you, for your DNA to get into the future, for you to have a heritage, a lineage, for me to have ancestors, it's got to be a winner in that environment, in that circumstance. It's not only it's got to be built right, it's got to be lucky, it's got to be a lot of things to be in the right place at the right time, let's say. Let's not say lucky, let's just say you got to be the right shape, in the right place at the right time, and you will make it into the future. And if you're not any of those things, you won't. There'll be no prodigy. And that's the way it works. There's no other dynamic. There's no intelligence. There's no thoughtfulness, compassion. There's no, oh, this would be nice kind of idea. There's no wish or want. There's just mechanical process, and whatever can, win the competition that process demands. That's all there is. It's not. There's just no other component except fitness by the environment's definition, by whatever shape the environment is, will dictate what shape you have to be to survive. And that's it. Yeah, like I said, no higher aspirations, no tending towards or wanting or thinking. No, the system doesn't think, it doesn't want. It's a process, like a flame burning, and it will obey the laws of physics. It will not do something special. It will not spell out your name. It just won't. All right, fact number 4. Through billions of years of evolution, the DNA molecule gets very large, has a lot of information built into it, and it can now give organisms a higher complexity. So when it causes the rebuilding of another organism, which basically just causes it, starts a process, it initiates a process, and that creates the new copy. These new machines, over billions of years, can acquire many tools, different kinds of shapes and configurations to make them more survivable and competitive. And, whatever, a billion years ago, or more or less, organisms acquire sentience. And how you doing? Hey, pup. Dog eating grass. Yeah, it's a cow dog. But anyway, vegetables, and they need their vitamins. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so tools, and one of the tools that was acquired a long time ago was this ability to feel a sensation that wasn't, it just wasn't raw programming. It wasn't just, it wasn't a do statement. It was a, how to put it? It was an analog intensity that would be either attractive or repulsive. And then there was a mechanism, an intelligence that would react to that, the intensity of that artificial light. So it's called the sentience of light. And there was another reflexive bit of neurology that would, depending on what light it was seeing from different sense organs, it would combine them and decide what to do. So now an organism could be hungry and afraid. So now it could know that there was something sneaky in there. It could also know that the cheese is in there. And so it could have two feelings, one telling it no and one telling it yes. And those two feelings would have to compete until one of them became dominant. And then there would be action. There would be a do again. But that's basically the mechanism, is that it took the direct, immediate part of programming out of an organism and gave them a way of creating an eddy, a mental thought process, like in a stream where water gets trapped and keeps going in circles. In here there's probably lots of them by this little log where water swirls and swirls, and it can take a long time for it to get out of there because it's being manipulated by the other water. And that sort of happens with a mammal with a higher brain function in the birds. is that they're going to think. They're going to wait for more information. They're going to open their senses and say, give me more, because the light isn't strong enough yet. The no light isn't stronger than the yes light. So I'm undecided. And I guess that's what I'm saying. So fact number 4 is that we were bestowed with a faculty of sentience that gave us the ability to be there, to experience the illusion of undecidedness, and which gave us an ability to act even more complexly in the environment. So we were no longer as predictable, and we could suit ourselves to particular environmental circumstances, which made us much more survivable, which is back to fact number 3. So anyway, enough of the video. Let's see where it goes. Till next time.